Well, a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Delta T Racing. It's Thursday night, so it's time for Division number 2. We're coming for round 4 from Imola in San Marino. Last night's race had a couple of safety cars for Division 1, so hopefully we'll be avoiding that tonight. But let's have a run through. We've got 18 drivers tonight, including our new full-time driver of Moss Isley, who has moved into the Aston Martin team to team up with Latsis. Moss Isley been doing very well so far this season, so I expect a strong race from him again today. Let's just get the details up. Okay, so who is the first car out? Because I always like to jump on with the first car out. And it is the Williams of Tom Putty in the alternative. Good evening, everyone. Apologies. I think I've just realised that you couldn't hear me. I just need to do one more thing. Bear with me. Right. Okay, hopefully we are live again. So unfortunately I can hear my voice, which is putting itself off. Right, okay, so Tom Putty just about to start his outlap now. It looks like you could hear me. It was just something wrong with my end, so never mind. Right, I think that might be better now. I won't hear myself. Okay, let's get back to the game. Sorry about that, just some teething errors to start with. Okay, so Tom on his hot lap now. Let's see how he gets on here as he goes through Acqua Minerale up towards the Variante Alta chicane. I always struggle with this one. You need to cut it, but it's so easy to invalidate. He does that quite well. Could carry a little bit more speed, but cut off the side there. So going to heading down towards Rivazza and then on to the start finish line. Tom will be the first to set a time. Thanks, Grelis, for letting me know, by the way. Appreciate that. So Tom is not going to be the first one to set a time. He pops into the pit, so it's going to be Pit P closely followed by J5 Gaming, so 15.8 against the 15.9. Okay, who else can we jump on with? Summers is on a lap at the moment. He's getting a bit squirrely back in there, going through Acqua Minerale. It can be so easy to get onto the power early there. Decent speed. Jack with a 15.6 straight to the top of the pile. I believe he may have got his wheel back out rather than controller now, which is why we're seeing a lot stronger performances from Jack. And Summers goes into second with a 15.8. Okay, who is next? Who have we got down here? It's going to be Brother Adam in the Mercedes. 16.5, 6th position for him. So he bogged with a very slow outlap. I think that might have been one that he abandoned. So we'll have a look just to see how he's getting on. So through Piratella down into Acqua Minerale. To the chicane, we'll jump on board. Unfortunately cut too much there and has invalidated Dog will be dropping into the pits, putting on a fresh set of tyres and going out to try it again. Connor, meanwhile, see how his time is stacking up. It looks like he's on a hot lap at the moment because his ERS is being used. So 50.6 through there. The skipper just starting a lap. So we'll jump to him once Connor has crossed the line. Connor in 8th position, 1:16.355, hoping for a better race than he had last night. I think it was a bit of one to forget for him, but tonight's another race. So skipper aborts that and moves it out of the way. Who do we have coming through? Rush and yeah, Hummer's out and Mos Eisley. So Mos Eisley's furthest round, but 8 seconds down, so he's not treating that as a lap. Hummer will jump on board, has been using his ERS, so I do think he's going for it. It just cuts that wall, manages to not invalidate there. I thought he was going to get a red come up, but no, he manages to keep it there, but just a little bit eager on the throttle there. So yep, fortunately Hummer aborting that lap. Mos Eisley, how is he doing? I was at 11 seconds, and NLD Rush was the other one, wasn't he? He's 4 seconds down on his time as well. So anybody actually on a lap? The Catsis looks like he might be Tom Putty. Sure if he's on. No, he must be on a lap because he has roasted his ERS. That's 16.4, so that's 10th position for Tom Putty. Catsis now coming round. Sees Piratella up the hill. Oh, sorry, up the hill towards Piratella. So again, it's a hard corner to get right there because you need to carry the speed, but you need to be, well, you need to use the track limits as best that you can. And unfortunately, there it will slap you with a warning. So I do expect a few penalties tonight, especially over here. Oh, and Catsis again just getting a little bit trigger happy. Andre now coming round onto the start finish line to set a time. 17.5, but he only used 50% of his battery there, had a lot more to use. So if he's going for a second lap, then he is draining it to start with. But right, let's jump on with Johnny, who is now on his second run. Looking to close the gap at NLD Rush with a 15.546. Never had a pole position, Rush. I think best 4th position is his best qualifying position. So at the moment, looking pretty good. I know it's Singles out on a lap as well. He's who's going to be the first? Right, Hasback there. So yeah, it will be Johnny. So. So Johnny just a couple of hundredths up. See if he can improve more in this final sector. So he needs to find 4 tenths in this final sector to put himself back up on a pole position. It's a bit of an ask, but if he can improve on his time, I think that'll be the mate that he does. 15.627. So 3 tenths. So luckily he got away, I think, with just losing an end plate there. But people are coming out the pits, he needs to be careful of. So, well, it's a good ending to the lap there for Johnny. He'll go round, put on a fresh wing and a fresh set of tyres and give it another go. Meanwhile, Jack coming into the start-finish line. We'll see what time he puts on the board. It's looking pretty quick. 15.5 it is indeed. So pole position by 3/100ths of a second over Rush. But Rush yet to do his second run. Pipkey. Where is Pipkey? Round by Piratella, so he's a bit further round. Pombert has a purple sector 2. We'll see what he can do in the last sector, whether he's done enough to put himself up. So he needs up 4/10. So lots now starting their last laps, or their latest laps, should I say. And there we go, Pombert straight to pole position, 15.503. So was indeed, or had lost a lot of time in the back there. Is that Pipke just crossed the line that yeah, he's a 15.5. Right, who have we got next? Let's have a look. Is it Bogorowski? No, he's a bit further back. Jack's going back into the pits. Skipper and Composite are both on outlap. So let's stay with Bogorowski whilst he finishes the end of this lap. We're coming up the hill towards this chicane. So really, as I say, you've got to give it real commitment, but it's so easy to just go wide either on the inside left-hand curbing, or as you're exiting, running wide out on the right, or as we've seen before, it can spit you around. Okay, so Bog balks that one. I think Calais might be next, but I'm going to miss him. No, he's coming to the pits as well. Okay, so Pipke is on a return. NLD Rush. There, the other Pombert is no, he's going to be coming into the pits. So Rush, NLD Rush is going to start a lap. We'll stay on board with him for a moment. So we'll watch his lap round. I think ahead of him we do have Moss Isley, and it looks like, is it a Mercedes out there? Yeah, Mercedes of Cassell on his outlap. He did say he was going to join during qualifying, which he has done. I think he was actually there at the start, but either way, he is here. So he has a grid of 18. So we're seeing some pretty good numbers at the moment, which is nice to see. Obviously, the new game will be coming out at some point. Still no release date on that, but we're probably looking around about June time, I would have thought. So NLD Rush is up on his time by a 10th and a half. 10th and a half would be more than enough to put him back up into provisional pole position. So let's see if he can do that. Also, no, sorry, Moss Isley's a little bit further ahead. And jumps into pole position, so I'm glad I did jump on with him. Rush, I think, he was up as well. He would have put himself up there with his yeah, with his Alpine up to at least the front row of the grid, if not pole position. But so the Gatsis, see how he is going to do on this lap. Oh, has he just finished the lap? I think he must have just finished one, looking at his ERS, unless he's drained that on the start finish line. Skipper on an outlap. We've got Johnny and Hummer on an outlap. Brother Adam as well. The Gatsis coming back in. Cassell will be looking to put a time on the ball. So far nothing, so I'm not sure if he had a run and invalidated or whether this is his first one, but he's now coming round to the last sector of the track. Sorry, got distracted there. 50.1 I think that was. So pretty much he's up there with around about fourth or fifth. We'll see if he can nail this final sector. We've seen lots of time gained through here, certainly with the track evolving as well. It's going to get quicker and quicker for the last 3 minutes of this race. 15.2, there you go, Cassell, pole position. So one lap out, slaps it on the front row of the grid. That's not bad. Okay, Moss Isley's coming into the pits, as is Lecatsis. So next up we will have Skipper. It's going through the chicane now. Behind him we have one of the Red Bulls, and we only have one, which is Pipke. No, it's not. Summers, of course it is, sorry. It's looking straight in front of me. Sorry, Summers. So Summers, our reigning D2 champion and Division 1 commentator. Not had the best season or best start to the season for sorry, not at the best start of the season. That either light Hummer there popping up into third position with a 15.4. Johnny is on a lap but has invalidated, unfortunately a 10th and a half up on his lap time, but has invalidated. Probably be wise to back off, regenerate some ERS and try and give it another run. We've got a minute, just under 2 minutes left. So not really enough time to get in and put a fresh set of tyres on. MLD Rush is near the beginning of his lap. Let's see, who can we jump on with? We're going to have the Mercedes going back into the pits. Brother Adam. Where is Brother Adam? Brother Adam. Ahead of him we've got the McLaren of, well, it's got to be Andre, because we only have one McLaren in the race tonight. So what is Andre going to do? A 1:17.2. So Andre seems to be struggling for pace at the beginning of this season, but I do think it will come to him. Brother Adam now about to cross the line. Improvements there. Bog is into the pits, so that's pretty much his work done for the day. Ninth position, Cassell also retiring, thinks he has either done enough or has done all that he can. That was Kazingle getting a 0.292. So it's under 500ths away from pole position. Pombert also not on a lap. Right, so who do we have on a lap? Pipke. Pipke's been on the front row for every Grand Prix this season, either pole position or second. We'll see if he can yank pole position away from Cassell right at the end. We'll keep an eye on his times to see how he's doing. Currently 15.596, so needs to find 0.3 of a second. Does he have that in him on this final run? We'll find out. He's 2.285 up, so this is going to be touch and go. He really needs to nail this final sector, and hopefully he can find just an extra, even half a tenth, to put him on the pole position. So let's see as Pipke comes into the penultimate turn, now the final turn. Get on that gas as quick as you can, hug this line as we go through, and it's a 15.2, and it is indeed pole position for Pipke. Pombert has finished. Everybody else has finished, so yeah, pole position for Pipke. So as I say, out of the 4 races we've had so far, I think he's had pole position, second position, and now pole position. So certainly has the pace over 1 lap, but also our championship leader as well. So seems to be pretty consistent in the races. So let's have a quick look, see if I can get the tables up. Yeah, as we see, Pipke leading the way there, 58 points from Hummer on 42. Then we have Riker on 36 points. So that's our top 3. So Johnny very close on 35, but has missed 1 race this season. Kazingle in 5th after winning last time out. Mos Eisley in 6th, then Andre 7th, Pombert 8th, Cassell 9th, and Bogorovsky rounding out the top 10. So right, let's have a look at this, the grid for today. So Pipke taking pole position for the 3rd time this season. Cassell joining him on the front row of the grid. Then we have Kazingle and Pombert on row 2, Mos Eisley and Hummer on row 3, Hummer's lowest position of the season. Then 7th and 8th, Johnny and NLD Rush, Bogarowski and D Summers rounding out the top 10. Well, we have rain. Wasn't expecting this. Well, mind you, haven't been looking at my Discord, so somebody might have let me know. Also better make sure nobody has been booted out. I didn't need my Discord up. Right, okay, so yes, wet rates. I'm not sure looking at the pit lane whether this is intermediates or whether it's going to be full wets. We will find out in a minute. We're just waiting, obviously, for the players to choose their setups. So wet conditions, no DRS available down the start-finish line is going to make overtaking a little bit more difficult. But also the track a hell of a lot more difficult, to be honest with you. 4.9 kilometre anti-clockwise track Imola is. 19 corners, we have 9 right-handers and 10 left-handers. So here we go. Let's have a look and see what everybody has gone for with regards to tyres. So it is intermediates. Yeah, it looks dry enough out there. But I'm not sure if this rain obviously is going to get heavier or lighter. We'll have a look at the cloud or the sky and the clouds as we go round. But everybody on those intermediates. Right, so anyway, let's go through the rest of the grid. We did the top 10 a moment ago. We got Connor in 11th and Lakatsis in 12th, so they're on row number 6. On row 7, we've got Tom Putty and Brother Adam. Row 8, Skipper and Andre. And on row 9, Composite and Calais. Calais in his second race. Didn't sound full of confidence before the race, but Calais, you can't warm your tyres up on the gravel. That's one tip I would give you, mate. But no, good to see Calais back. It's going to take him some while to get back into sort of the rhythm and just obviously get used to the new game. So, but yeah, good to see him turning up for the second week in succession. We'll see if he can get some points this week. I think there could be a few retirements today, so if you can keep yourself out of trouble, keep the penalties down to a minimum, I think you're going to be in with a pretty good chance of picking up some points here. Okay, so just waiting for the field to come round now. Pipke has sat in place in position 1 with Cassell alongside him. So a nice long drag down into the first left-hander here. So Tumbarella used to be a flat-out corner, but we know obviously that got changed after some tragedies a few years back. But anything can happen. Here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And the lights are out, and away we go. And a good start away there by Pipke. I think Cassell getting a little bit of wheel spin beside him and not managing to make that position up that he wanted. But let's have a look. Are we going to keep it clean into turn number 1? We have someone going a little bit wide there. It looks like Pombert. Unfortunately got crowded out into that corner, ended up going wide, and he's now dropping right the way back through the grid. Unfortunate for him, after a fairly decent qualifying, now finds himself down in 14th position, but a long way to go. 32 laps, anything can happen. We have yellow. Why do we have a yellow? I'm not sure what happened at the Connor. Oh, Connor. Right, let's get back to the front. Okay, so Pipke leading the way on lap number 1, dragging Cassell, Kazingle and Moss Isley with him. And we've got a little bit of a gap back to Hummer. NLD Rush picking up a penalty there. Looks like something has happened to him. Yeah, going off circuit, I think. It's but very early to pick up a 3-second penalty on lap number 1. Doesn't bode well for the rest of the race, but we'll see. So Pipke obviously getting fastest lap as he is leading, but these front 4 are breaking away ever so slightly. D-Rush is tumbling through the field at the moment. I think he's probably going to come into the pits. Connor's coming to the pits, something like Rush has. So Connor, is it a front wing, front nose? Yeah, new front nose, and he is back out on track. Unfortunately, as I say, not finishing well for Connor last night, being involved in a few too many incidents that were happening around him. But yeah, I think he was hoping for better tonight. But currently in 18th position, but as I say, still 31 laps, including the one we are on to go. Safety car can bring you right back into it. I haven't seen many positions made up from the start. We'll have a quick look. Only saying that Brother Adam up 4 positions. We've got Skipper up 3, Lakatstis up 3, Pombear, one of the biggest losers, down 9 positions, and Connor down 7, dropping to the back of the grid. I was wondering if it was drying up then, so I jumped on board, but you can see it is still spitting. Really missed that as Cassell goes for a move around the outside. Unfortunately doesn't make it. Oh, and runs wide, so obviously he goes from 2nd position down to 4th. So lucky to only lose 2 positions there, and lucky not to collect someone on that rejoin. But everybody is still on, in the race, but what it has done is it has closed the pack right back up again. So whereas they had broken that 1 second gap, admittedly there's no DRS today because of the wet weather, but they were starting to break away, and if they'd have worked as a team, I think they could have opened up that gap a lot more. But for us it's good because it bunches the field right up. So it's my fault, apology, trying to catch the mouse as it fell off the desk. Right, so Pipke still leading, Jack now in 2nd, obviously after that mistake from Cassell. Moss Isley in 3rd. Cassell still down in 4th, so hanging on to coattails of everyone ahead of him. Are trying to make a break for it, but Moss Isley is just hanging on to him, and he is bringing Cassell with him, but then again Hummer just getting cut adrift a little bit. Connor making up for lost time, putting in the fastest lap of the race, 15.1 seconds behind Calais, which is closing fast. It was 20 odd seconds not long ago. But I think Calais just taking it easy, obviously in his first wet conditioned race. Lakatstis is out. Oh dear, what happened to Lakatstis? Oh, well there's his tyre. Ay. Okay, so Lakatstis out of the race. It looks like Piratella. So did he crash or was there contact? Right, let's see anyone that is going to pit that has been carrying damage. Obviously good for Connor now because he can close right the way onto the back of the grid. But who is going to blink? Quite a big gap now between Bogorowski and Summers. Didn't see that open up. Again, I don't know if that was mistake-wise or... Right, anybody going for the pits? Doesn't look like they are. Oh, here we go. Looks like brother... Is that Brother Adam? Yeah, I think Brother Adam pulling the pin and going in to put on a fresh set. The Alpine Rush stays out. Composite stays out. Calais also staying out. Connor will obviously stay out. He's only just come into the... back into the race after making an early pit stop. So yeah, only Brother Adam and... Oh, did Connor not change his tyres then? Single just staying half a second behind Pipke. Mos Eisley doing the same. Cassell pressurising Mos Eisley just a little bit there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for an overtake down into Tamburello. Perhaps he's just a little bit too far back now. Summers now with the fastest lap of the race. We're going to close that gap in on Bogorowski in front of him, Bog at the tail end of this field. So looking good for the two Hasses at the moment. Summers will want to get in there, so the Red Bulls are also both represented in the top group. Well, I can't say it's been the most exciting of races yet. Andre may be looking for a move on Pombert and goes for the inside. Is he going to make this stick? Oh, unfortunately not. So Pombert retains that 10th position, so the last point scoring position. So we are only on lap number 6. Still got 26 plus the lap that we are on to go. Oh, bit of contact there. Andre, I think, has lost a front end plate, so he's now going to be struggling for grip into the right-handers. And so it looks like that battle is going to come to an end quite quickly. Cassell now with the fastest, it just changes all the time. Summers now picks fast lap 27.7, does have that gap down to 1.4 to Bog was 1.7. So it proves this front pack isn't perhaps moving as quickly as they could be. But a lot of that could be tyre preservation. Hummer now dropping 1.2 behind. Excuse me. So let's have a look on board. It is pretty dry. I think we are very soon going to see somebody take a gamble and come in and put some dry tyres on. So the rain has stopped, the circuit looks dry. And the times are getting quicker and quicker and quicker. So who's going to be the first? Who's going to be brave enough to pull into the pits? We'll soon find out. They are heading down towards Ravazza now. And obviously the pit X entry is just on the right hand side. We'll see if anyone's coming in. So DRS not been enabled yet, so the game probably still thinks it's a bit too early. But here we go. Looks like pretty much everyone is now coming in for dry tyres. Who is that stayed out? Is that Summers? Summers stayed out because he didn't want to double stack with Pipke, but I think there was probably enough of a gap that he wouldn't have had to worry about it too much. Andre staying out on those inters. So here we go, Pipke going for the hards, so looking at 24 laps to take it towards the end of the race. Kazingle going on to the mediums, he will need to pit again, but DRS now enabled, which is always the sign to come in and put dry tyres on. But unfortunately, I think Summers and Andre are going to plummet down the field here, because I think they're going to lose time. Just looking at the gap to Pipke, 15.5, 15.3. Yeah, I think he could find himself down around about, well, pretty similar to where he was, sort of around about 10th, 11th. So yeah, probably come out in 11th, just ahead of Skipper. But we'll find out, because I'm sure they will be peeling in this lap. And indeed, Summers does. Andre behind does exactly the same. So Pipke will resume the race lead. So we'll just keep an eye on what position Summers comes out in. So Brother Adam picks up a 3-second time penalty. So hards and mediums for everyone. Summers going on to a set of hards. Andre also going on to a set of hards. Brother Adam has retired from the session. It looks like it was a crash through Varianta Villeneuve, I believe it is, a bit further up on the right, just before the end of Sector 1. So Brother Adam and Mercedes out of the race. We're going to have a... We're under yellow, is that... Brother Adam has left the session. But I'm not sure if we are under a safety car, virtual safety car. I haven't actually got the notification up. No, it must be virtual safety car. There is no safety car coming out, so we're just waiting for the go-ahead to resume racing. Summers picked up a drive-through penalty speeding under the virtual safety car. It's so blooming easy to do. But what turned out to be really good luck for him, literally, with making that pit stop and the virtual safety car coming out. He managed to get himself out in 5th position, but now he's going to have a drive-through. He's going to drop him to the back of the grid. So he didn't actually manage to get everyone to close up. So unfortunately for Connor, finds himself still a little bit further back than he would have liked. But Calais up into 13th, leaving a pack of, well, leaving Connor, but NLD Rush not far behind. Okay, so Summers looking to go for a move around the outside of Hummer. Oh, I can see that happening. Neither of those guys will want to give an inch. Unfortunately for Johnny, it looked like he got a bit tangled up just behind, obviously trying to avoid it, and that has let Cassell back through. Bogorowski also sniffing around the back of this battle, looking to get onto that group if he can. But at the front, completely missed it. Kazingle into the lead, but he is on those medium tyres, so he's not going to be able to take those to the end. Still 23 laps to go. But has pulled out a 1.2 second lead on Pipke, and Pipke himself has nearly has over a 2-second lead on Moss Isley now. Moss Isley seems to be struggling just a little bit with the dry conditions. Probably wants to get some temperature into those tyres. So Summers, is he going to come in and serve his drive-through on this lap? Nope. He is going to continue. So Johnny, Cassell into the pits. Has Cassell got more damage? Yep. Front right end plate missing. So yeah, Cassell, so after qualifying second, not quite been the race he would be hoping for, but still in it. will come out around about Connor. Oh, probably behind Connor. So 14th on the mediums, which means he is going to have to pit again. Won't be able to get those to the end because Cell's actually going to come out last. But only ways up from there, my friend. So Jack 1.4 seconds ahead. Pickley seems to be keeping that gap pretty static now. So I think the advantages that Gazingle had early on those mediums have now disappeared. And they're pretty much on par with each other. See if we get another safety car later on. If not, Jack's going to have to come in pit and then make his way through the field. But obviously starting on the inters, it now negates the need to use two separate dry compounds. Gazingle 20.237, fastest lap of the race, has pulled that out to 1.7. Summers into the pits to serve his drive-through. I say unfortunate for him. Is he going to come back out? I think he's come out behind Skipper. Is he going to stay ahead of Connor and Rush? It's going to be very, very close. Very, very close. Here comes Connor and Rush now. And Connor, well, they both make the move there. I think, to be honest, in fairness, Summers actually backed off a little bit just because he knew what he could be getting involved in there. But Pipke with a time penalty as well. Excuse me. Right, let's have a look at those penalties just to see who has what. Oh, Pipke 10 second, must have been speeding in the pit lane. 3 seconds to NLD Rush. At least Pipke can serve that, but he's going to drop a hell of a lot of places. Okay, so the cars are pretty spread out at the moment. Connor, Rush and Summers seem to be the closest we have at the moment. Pipke 19.6, followed by Johnny with 19.5. So the hard tyres are certainly becoming quicker than the mediums, and they're getting quicker and quicker each lap. I think with a bit of confidence with the track conditions as much as rubber and a light fuel load. Tom Patty picked up a 3 second time penalty there. But yeah, gap at the front now down to 1.1, so it was up about 1.4, 1.5. So Pipke is just chipping into that a little bit. Cassell now fastest lap, he will do on those mediums. As I say, he will have to stop again. I think they would explode before the end of the race. Gap at the front now down to under a second. So Pipke is really finding these tyres to his liking now, whereas I think Gazingle is probably wishing he'd gone for the harder compound. So Pipke, I don't think necessarily needs to stop again. His tyres are going to be in an absolutely crap condition towards the end of the race, but if he can keep it on track and he's got a big enough gap, he don't need to come in. Whereas Jack, unfortunately, those mediums he's on at the moment are, well, pretty warm, which is why Pipke is looking at making the move there. But they just wouldn't last. They would go pop before the end of the race. Summers with a 19.1 on those fresh mediums as well. So Connor and Rush just exchanging positions there. But yeah, let's get back Hummer and Johnny. So Johnny making the move up into fourth position. So Hummer down into fifth. Johnny now with a 2.9 second gap to close to get onto the back of this trio. But considering it has now bunched right up, they could well slow each other up, which would then give Johnny an ideal opportunity to carve that 2.5 second gap down. But right, is Jack gonna pit? Looking at his tyres, they don't look nice, but they don't look horrible. So Jack is into the pits, has enough of those medium tyres. So Pipke takes the lead of the race. Moss Isley obviously just behind him as well. both on the hard tyres, so this will be a race to the end. Pitke with that 3-second penalty is going to hinder him. But Johnny now 2.2 behind. It's gone up a little bit there, but 2.2, then Hummer 1.3 back, and then hello, Bogorovsky is sitting up there in 5th position. Further 3 seconds back, but making his way up the field nicely. He's keeping himself out of trouble. And it all seems to go well for him. So Rush back into the pits. Yeah, another front wing change for him. So where did Jack come out? 12th position. Ooh, that's quite painful for Jack. We'll see what tyres he actually went on to. Jack went on to the hards. So Jack can easily take those to the end of the race now, and they won't be in too bad a condition. The others will either need to nurse theirs through or will have to stop again. So he'll pick up another 3-second time penalty. Is that his second one, I think? That battle at the front. We've also got Skipper, Connor and Jack now. So we'll keep an eye on that front, because I've got a feeling that Mos Eisley is going to go for a move soon. Jack getting past Connor there. I was trying to find him, and he actually just slipped his way past. So Connor, I think, quite happy to let him pass. Obviously on the fresher compound, the fresher tyres, can then hopefully wait for the fight to happen in front and pick up any scraps. But Jack now hot on the heels of Skipper. Skipper is never easy to get round. He may not be the fastest driver, but he puts his car in all the right places. But Jack going for a move down the outside. Looks like Skipper was sensible and backed out of that one. Admitted defeat on that corner. Obviously with the faster car, sometimes it's not worth fighting, especially for a different strategy. But Jack now on the hunt for Calais. What's up? Oh, Calais. Calais, unfortunately, having a spin there, but gets back on track. So let's get those tyres cleaned off, my friend, and carry on with the race. Pitke coming under increasing pressure now. Also missed Jack getting past Summers, so Kazingal up into 8th position. Summers picking up another penalty there. So the further you go into the race, the more likely you are for the penalties to pop out. There's obviously a bit of tiredness creeps in, or sometimes a bit of over-exuberation. So warnings and penalties do rack up here. If you get a late safety car, it really can screw your race completely. So Mos Eisley, is he going to go for a move down the start-finish line? Obviously DRS is now enabled, which he has opened. He'll be draining some of his ERS, which he is. He's looking to go for the overtake around the outside. Is he going to be able to make it? Yes, he does. So Mos Eisley up into the lead of the race. Pitke in second, but he's not giving up on it yet. Wants to fight down the inside. Probably not the best place to do it coming into these S's, but I have seen some overtakes done there. So Pitke just needs to hang on to Mos Eisley as best that he can. Just use his DRS and just see if his tyres come better. Johnny now with that gap down to 1.8 seconds. So close that down from 2.5, so 0.7 of a second. He's closed in. Couple of laps, so 3/10. We'll give it a couple of laps, 2-3 laps, and he should be in Pipke's DRS if you can continue this. There we go, Pipke back past Mos Eisley, so maybe saved a little bit of ERS, I think, DRS on that. Yeah, sorry, saved his ERS and then used that with DRS to actually make the overtake again. But Mos Eisley has not given up at all and goes for the inside line there and retakes the lead of the race. But Pipke not having it, he wants that position back. Johnny behind is now within DRS, he's loving this. So you two battle and I can just save the ERS. Wait for you two to have a little bit of a ding dong and I'll go straight through, thank you very much. So Johnny now sitting in a very strong position. And so those tyres obviously are going to start dropping off. Still 13 laps to go. Excuse me. Okay, so here's Pipke going to go for another move on Mos Eisley. Or are you just going to sit behind him for a bit? Where's Johnny? Johnny has come into the pits. So Johnny realises he's not going to get to the end of the race. Well, he will do, but they're going to be absolute dog's breath by the end of it. So he's going to come in. I wonder if he's probably put on a fresh set of mediums if he's got them. Or are they hards? Fresh set of hards, I think that was. So it's conservative, but... Yep, so Johnny back onto hards and brings himself out just behind Summers there. And now has his teammate just in front of him. His teammate yet to pit on old tyres. I don't think he's going to fight this too hard. He will let him through. And there he does, goes. Pulls out a bit wide. Unfortunately, I think he went onto the gravel as well, which probably wasn't the plan, which is now going to put him under a little bit of pressure from Skipper behind. Okay, back to this front battle. Kazingle now up into 6th position, so just 2.1 seconds behind Tom Putty in 5th. So don't forget that Jack has pitted and can take this to the end of the race now if he wants to, and won't have too much of an issue at all. Pipke retaking the lead, so it looks like these two are, I would say they're working together to try and pull away, but they are not. They are racing hard. They both want to lead each and every lap. Okay, so Bog now into the pits for the last time, or hopefully the last time for him anyway. Tom Putty also pitting. So Putty pitting. There we go. That's a tongue twister. Looking back, I think Johnny is soon going to overtake Summers, but you know, it's you've got your sister team ahead of you, big sister as well, so it's let's see what mood she's in, whether she'll let you pass or not. I think you're going to have to fight your way past for this one. And I would expect Mos Eisley to retake the lead of the race again, considering this happened lap after lap down the start finish line. Let's have a look. Oh, Hummer has pitted, so Hummer has given up. Mos Eisley did not make the move, so Hummer, as I say, Hummer's given up on the hards and switched to a fresh set of mediums, which will see him through to the end of the race. Jack up into 3rd position, 15 seconds behind the lead duo of Pipke and Mos Eisley, but has the far better tyres available to him. Hummer coming out in 6th position, just behind Skipper. Bogorowski a couple of seconds back down the road. Skipper really struggling there. Looks like his back end had gone completely, but managed to keep control of it. But I think it might be time for him to look at coming into the pit soon as well, especially with Bogorowski now hunting him down. So Jack 15 now down to the 14 seconds, so he really is eating into this. But what he doesn't want to do is wear his tyres out too quickly, otherwise he's going to find himself, okay, maybe catching them towards the end, but then he's not going to have the superior tyres to make the overtake. So it's calculating it really, but as I say, with 9 laps left to go, well 10 including the one that we are on. So Bog has made the move past Skipper. So Bog up into 6th position. Rush picking up a penalty. I do like these overhead cameras on the Formula 1 game. Can get some pretty spectacular views, to be honest, especially here, Jeddah, Las Vegas. You can get some really, really nice overheads. So Skipper has had enough of those tyres. I can't blame him, to be honest. That back end went completely on him. So he comes in, puts a fresh set of mediums on. We'll drop him down a few places, but he'll have much better grip. He'll be enjoying the end of this race now rather than dreading every single corner that's coming up. So gap 13 seconds now, nearly 12 seconds. So Jack is absolutely taking chunks out of this lead pair. Andre picking up a 3-second penalty there. So 2 retirements from the race. Lakatsis, unfortunately losing him in the wet conditions, and then brother Adam retiring not long after the switch over from Inters to dry weather tyres. So, but they're the only 2 DNFs that we've had today. So Pipke leading the way with Mos Eisley in 2nd. Kazingle now 12.5 seconds back and closing at a rate of knots in 3rd position. Johnny in 4th position. So Johnny finishing runner-up in last season's championship will want to go one step further. But with Pipke, who's leading the championship, also leading this race, it really makes it tough. You've got to beat him, unfortunately, but it does have that 3-second time penalty, which I think something Mos Eisley probably is keeping in mind. But at the end of the day, if you win, you want to win on track. It's all well and good getting it because of a penalty, but you want to cross that finish line first. So Mos Eisley is gearing it up, coming into the pits now. So he'll 7 laps to go. Get certain mediums without a problem to the end. I think softs might be a bit of a stretch. He's going for the softs. 8 laps including the one that he's on. It's probably doable, to be honest. But he's going to come out, unfortunately, behind the Alpine of Rush. Who I think is a lap car. Excuse me. Right, so yeah, I think that's an LD Rush just ahead of him there, if we can find out. Yeah. So yeah, LD Rush will need to be getting blue flags, so needs to move out of the way. Oh, he's not moving out the way, is he? He gave him room, but it was a matter of if you want it, you've got to take it. He certainly didn't give it to him. So anyway, back at the front. There we go, back to front. Oh, was it? Oh, 10 seconds for Pipke. Of course it is. Thank you, Gredis. Yeah. So if he he's going to have to try and take it to the end, isn't he? because if he comes in, serves the 10-second on top of that, it's going to drop him right the way down the field. It's better to keep going and try to gain as much time as you can. But as I say, Jack 11.5, so that has slowed ever so much. As I say, it was tumbling at a complete rate of knots. It's still tumbling, but I say if Pipke can keep it going, could well still get himself a podium here, even if his tyres do go off. Depends how quick Hummer closes in. So Mos Eisley now all over the back of Hummer. We all know Hummer is not the easiest person to get past. So not too much going on currently. It's probably not been the most exciting of races, to be honest. It's obviously starting on the inters, going on to the dry weather tyres, around about sort of lap 7 or 8. Kind of threw the strategies up a little bit, but anyway, Mos Eisley there up into 4th position now, past Hummer on 5-lap old medium, so I would expect those softs to be much quicker, but whether he can close down enough, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's not been too many incidents, so we've seen a few people, you know, sort of spin off, you know, a couple of little side-by-sides and a little bit of contact, but certainly not as chaotic as the Div 1 race was last night. Cassell making the move on Connor, and had made the move on Connor, sorry, already. He was now looking at making a move on Pombert. Pipke has pitted, so unfortunately he had to serve that 10-second penalty as well. So that has dropped him down into 5th. Gone for a set of mediums as well. I'm assuming he probably didn't have any softs available. The softs would have been the ideal. At least pick yourself up fastest lap at the end of this. But where is he going to come? Oh, he's tumbling. There's still another position, if not 2, to lose here. So Pipke gets out just ahead of his teammate in 8th position. So right, okay, the battle is now on at the front here. Jack currently leading it on 13-lap old hards. Johnny behind has 5-lap younger tyres, now only just under 2 seconds behind. Then you've got Mos Eisley on 3-lap old softs, crunching into that gap at the front, so now 6.5 seconds behind Johnny. I think it might be a stretch from Mos Eisley. It's, I would say, Jack and Johnny. So Kazingo and J5 Gaming, here's a battle between you guys. This is yours to lose. 4 laps to go, including the one we're on. Johnny can see him now. I don't know what warnings these guys are on. Don't have a penalty as of yet, but wouldn't be surprised if they have a warning or 2 to their name, so obviously can't press too hard at the end of the race for the risk of picking up a 3-second penalty, and all the hard work of closing in that 2-second gap is gone. But also for Jack, he doesn't want to over-exuberate in front, but all of a sudden he can find himself, you know, sort of a 1.5 seconds now behind Johnny. We will see. Right, anything else going on battle-wise? Andre is closing. No, he's not closing on 50. 50 has overtaken him and is disappearing. Got 1.7. yeah, 1.7 up the road to catch Tom Putty, which I think he will do. They've got 4 seconds further up the road to get the Bogorovsky and try and get that 5th position. So I think will make the move on the start-finish straight. Double DRS there, actually passed pretty much before the DRS was enabled, so it shows what closing speed he had in there. Right, let's get back to the front where Johnny has now got the gap down to under a second. We have a yellow flag. Why do we have a yellow flag? Who has come off? Nobody. I think it was just someone moving out of the way. So 3 laps to go, well 2.5 laps to go. Can Jack hold out? Can Johnny get past him? Moss Isley further 5 seconds down the road. I think his day is done. Certainly not going to close 2.5 seconds a lap with dying softs. So the best he can hope for is that those tyres hold off enough that Hummer can stay behind him. And so he's a further 5 seconds back, then a 10-second gap to Bogorovsky. Rounding out the top 5, but Pipke closing that gap down, now down to 1.5 seconds to Bog, so I think he could well be past him very, very shortly. So Johnny, what is your strategy? You really want to be here and then make the move down the start-finish line onto NLD. Rush is out. Where is Rush out? I just missed it. He was up here on the right. Right, you can see parts of it there. So, yep. So not a good end of the race for Rush. So it was looking so good for him in qualifying at one point, but unfortunately, I think it just turned out a little bit worse for where Summers picking up a penalty. Let's have a look and see what the penalties are. Tom Putty leading the way with 9 seconds of penalty, and then we've got Summers and Cassell with 6. Andre, Connor and Pombier all with 3 seconds worth of penalties. Right, is Johnny going to go for it? This is where you dump everything. I mean, he's 68, 50% of ERS, DRS as well, makes that move pretty easy. There was not a lot Kazingle could do about that. Obviously with the 5-lap offset of tyres as well, he's struggling through that section. So I think, barring any mistake, this is Johnny's to lose now. I see a car just ahead of them both. Yeah, Jack's tyres have gone just 1 or 2 laps too much was asked of those, unfortunately. It was really, really close, but you think, yeah, just probably 1 or 2 laps too much for that. But Johnny has timed that to perfection, making the move on the last lap of the race down the start-finish line, knowing he's got the superior grip to get through and pull away. And here we go, coming down to Rivazza for the last time. Johnny taking the next left hand, and he will come across the start finishing line. Is he going to weave, or is he just going to come across nice and calmly? Yeah, a little bit of a move towards his team. So Johnny winning the Grand Prix, J5 Gaming taking the win, Kazingle getting 2nd place, and Moss Isley taking the 3rd place on the podium. Hummer is going to come home 4th. Pipke, after looking so strong, is going to come home in 5th, but still picks up decent points for his championship charge. Bogorovsky coming home 6th position. Tom Putty dropping down a couple of positions there. Andre in 7th. D Summers in 8th. Tom Putty moves down to 9th. Then Cassell will cross the line ahead of Connor, but will lose out to Connor because of penalty. So Connor picking up the last point. He said he'd be happy with a point so that he'd have more points than he has in Division 1. There you go, Connor. You now have that 10th position. Cassell getting 11th, Skipper 12th, 13th going to Pombert, 14th Composite, and 15th Calais. So Calais a long way back, but he has finished. He's stuck at it. He's got his way through this race and will come across the line to finish now. So there we go. That's the Imola Grand Prix round number 4 completed. A good win by Johnny, so picking up his second win of the season after winning the opening round. We'll also close the gap on Pipkey after that late drama. So there's Johnny having a good old dance as he makes his way onto the podium. Right, okay, so Johnny, obviously the race winner, fastest lap going to Pipkey. Andre getting driver of the day, as well as the most overtakes and the cleanest driver going to Skipper in the Kick Sauber. So just running through the results, J5 Gaming taking the win, Kazingle in second. Third position we have Hummer, Moss Isley, sorry, fourth position Hummer. Fifth goes to Pipkey, sixth Bogorovsky, seventh Andre, eighth Summers, ninth Tom Putty, 10th Havoc Connor, 11th Cassell, 12th Skipper, 13th Pombert, 14th Composite, 15th Calais, and then the non-finishes of NLD Rush in 16th, Brother Adam 17th, and Lacatsis last in 18th position. But some good points today for Red Bull and for the Haas team. So McLaren picking up just a couple of points with Andre. Right, okay, well, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, not the most exciting of races, but nevertheless some good racing in there, some good strategies in the end, and Johnny timing it to perfection, picking the win, making the overtake on the last lap of the race and bringing home 25 points. So as I say, thank you for tuning in. I'll be back next week, same time, Thursday, 8 PM GMT. Obviously, D Summers will be back on comms for us for Division 1 next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. But anyway, I hope you have a lovely weekend. Take care. I'll see you next week.